Welcome to another episode of the Brandon Rowe Show. I am your host, Brandon Rowe. We got a jam-packed show. We got a lot to get into. We got to talk about Drake. We got to talk about the Grammys. We got to talk about Kendrick, the state of hip-hop, Luka. Oh, my goodness, Luka. And then we got to talk about the Super Bowl. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it. As the world knows, what was that, late Saturday night? Um, I get a text from my best friend Antonio, executive producer of the show as well. Um, and it says this gotta be fake, right? And I go look, I click on the Twitter article, it's from Shams, and I'm looking at the spelling of his name, like I'm looking at everything like, yo, this gotta be fake. And it says that Luka has been traded from the Mavericks for Anthony Davis. And my heart sunk to my fucking ass. Like it was it was crazy. I'm just hurt, upset, confused. Um and then you start seeing all of the, just the outpour of disappointment from, fans, shit, even NBA players, like, yo, nobody's safe. Like it just, like it was mind-blowing, one, right? And it really just kind of made me like second guess my fandom, dog. Like that shit literally, like, this is not even exaggeration, that shit literally hurt my feelings. Like it feels like a breakup. Like how could you do this to us? Like, and then it made me think about the Cowboys and them hiring Brian Schottenheimer as the coach. Like, yo, what the fuck are we doing, Dallas? Like, it's just super sad, man. And so then all the reports come out that, he was overweight and all these other things, and and he refused to, to get in shape, and they did all they can do and all these other things, man. And I still don't see, I don't, man, if you didn't go pick this nigga up, lift the weights with him, uh like then you didn't try hard enough. I'm sorry. Like I don't know, $345 million or not, um you don't let somebody that average 30 go. How the anyway, um and then this was my other thing, like, to get back AD. Now this is not nothing against AD, right? But there's a girl, she has a page, really good page on Instagram. It's called all 32 teams. So she's a football girly. She's a huge fan of the Washington Commanders. And she was like, yo, explain this to me in girl terms. Like, give it to me like as a movie or like music. Give me some other reference, because I'm not getting why everybody is so upset. And I said, this is like trading 2010 Drake, 2010, 2011 Drake for 2010 Lupe Fiasco. Follow me. Drake at that time is the young budding superstar, got the whole industry ahead of him. Everybody is, from Jay-Z to anybody that's anybody says that Drake is next up, right? And then you have somebody in Lupe who had two classics, right? At the beginning of his career, everybody thinking that he's the next one. He's the next one, but then obviously something happened around the Lasers time, and I ain't saying we never heard from him again, because I mean he's still, he was still a great rapper, right? Tetso and Youth, Food and Liquor 2, like Lupe still put out good music, right? Like to this day. But it just ain't, the level that you thought he was gonna go to, right? And that's how I look at AD. Like AD is a great player, still averaging 25 points. He only 32. We acting like he's 45 or something, but it just his best years are behind him. I'm sorry, his best years are behind him, and for them to make a trade like that, it just really hurt my fucking feelings, man. In my opinion, man, this can't be a basketball move, bro. Like Luka must have been a fucking menace in that organization. He had to be a fucking menace in that organization. Like I seen something, I don't know if it's true or not. I just seen a little article that said that after practice and trainings, he will want to drink a beer, and he was like, "Hey, I'm the star. I can do what the fuck I want." And um, you know, which to a certain degree, yes. But when somebody's investing $345 million into you and they can't get you to work out or can't get you to stop drinking a beer or go do that shit at home, like you doing that shit in the facility, you know, my pastor Brian Carter, his sermon on Sunday was about being humble, right? And the sermon name was "Be Humble or Be Humbled." And so maybe this is what Luka needed, for him to, even though he's producing on the court, maybe they saying you could be way better if you committed a little more. You could be, more available if you committed more. I don't know, man. I'm trying to find, some kind of rainbow or some sort of fucking treasure chest at the end of the rainbow, but I'm having a hard time seeing it. If I'm being honest, man, like I'm really having a hard time even like continuing to be a Mavericks fan. Like, bro, how could you like I literally cannot understand why. Like he would have had to be a fucking menace. Unless you walked into Nico Harrison's office and put your dick on the table, like literally, I don't understand trading him. I'm sorry. I don't understand trading him. But to kind of progress this conversation, if Mark Cuban still owned the Mavericks, this wouldn't happen. Mark Cuban said he would rather divorce his fucking wife than to let them part ways with Luka. So I believe that Mark would have had five swole niggas go to Luka's house every day, peel him away from his wife and kid, and and put him in a black Suburban and drive him to Southwest or to his local to his local helicopter pad, fly his ass to the American Airlines Center, lift the weights with him, and then do the same process to get him back home before he let Luka go. I just don't get it. But this did have me thinking, because like this is like the craziest trade in NBA history, especially mid-season with an actual superstar that didn't want to leave. It had me thinking. Do y'all remember many years ago, before the world ended and with COVID and everything like that, the Lakers tried to get Chris Paul, and all the reports was like, oh, Chris Paul is going to the Lakers, and the New Orleans Hornets was going to get Lamar Odom and Kevin Martin and Luis Scola and Goran Dragic, right? And then the Houston Rockets was going to get Paul Gasol, right? Like everybody was, up in arms about this. But then somebody came along and was like, nah, veto. Where the fucking veto button now? Where's the veto? But why ain't nobody vetoed a bitch ass? You know what? I blame this on the Mavericks training staff. The Mavericks training staff should have got in there when they got to go do that physical and say, you know what, this nigga AD don't pass. And you know, if you don't pass the physical, your ass can't be traded. So I feel like this gotta be somebody did this. Somebody fucking did this. And Nico, my brother, my brother, my brother, we gotta talk when I see you, man. We gotta talk when I see you, man, cause unless you tell me Luka was a motherfucking menace, oh Lord, 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 this is really, really, really heartbreaking, man. And I really want to cry, bro. Like this shit really hurt my feelings, man. But you know what? What can you do, man? So I guess to kind of look forward. Um, what do we do, man? Like, what do we think Kyrie and AD gonna be able to do together, man? This the blackest Mavericks that the this the blackest Mavericks team that has been assembled since probably early 2000s when we had Marquise Daniels and Josh Howard and them. We still had Dirk at the center point, but like this probably the blackest Mavericks team we've had in a long time. They got rid of Maxi Kleber too. Shit. Oh man, but I really miss you, Luca. Even though you're going to LA. Oh man, this shit hurts, bro. Let's shift gears though. Let's shift gears over to the Grammys. So, on Sunday, the Grammys happened. The 67th annual Grammys happened. This was actually a really good show. They've put together some good Grammys over the past couple years. The last 2 years, I watched the whole Grammys from beginning to end. That's rare. Like, well, from back besides like back in the day, like when music was like really really good and was really a focal point for me. I used to watch the Grammys back then, but like they had fell off. They just wasn't a good show. But they really put a good product on screen this year. And they had a lot of performances from people that I had no idea even existed. I don't know who these people are, but like what was interesting to me is like it just had me thinking about the state of hip hop, right? Versus pop. And so you look at the people that performed at the Grammys, and you had Chappell Roan, you had Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCS, Ray, Teddy Swims. I know Teddy Swims, he float on our side, but we'll see. We'll see what really happens because he might end up pulling a Post Malone and just being like, no, I don't fuck with you niggas. We don't know. Or he might end up pulling what's the other dude name? Sam Smith. And we never hear, a R&B cut again, I guess. I don't know. So we don't know, but we'll see. But it just made me think like, man, all these new young pop stars that's coming up, like Chappell Roan was actually dope. Like she was sitting up there looking crazy, but I was like, who the fuck is that? I had no idea. Like, she on her Gaga shit, and I fuck with Gaga. So, more power to her. And then Sabrina Carpenter, I had no idea who this girl was either. And I'm like, yo, she is killing this shit. Like Billie Eilish, not to even like, but those are, I mean, Billie Eilish is, she's cemented already. But like Benson Boone, who the fuck is Benson Boone? He got up there taking his shirt off and in some 60s get up, and they got a whole fucking 12 pack. I'm like, who is this nigga? But like, bro, like it really had me thinking, like, who is the future for hip hop? Like, who are the young superstars like Doechii? Oh my queen. You ain't the swamp princess no more. You the swamp queen, right, baby? Because so real quick, Not to, toot my own horn or nothing like that, but so Doechii came to Dallas. I want to say this was 2 years ago, 2022, something like that. Doechii came to Dallas. She was promoting um one of her mixtapes at the time, and she came to a studio, and my manager Desi, shout out to Desi, he was like, "Hey man, like you want to do Man on the Street with Doechii?" And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" Like he was like, "You know who she is?" I'm like, "Yes, I know who she is." Like, though I'm not an active participant in rap anymore, but like I still keep my finger on the pulse. So I'm like, hell yeah, I know who Doechii is. And so we went and did the Man on the Street. She was super cool. Like you could see all of this superstardom shit in her then, right? Like she had her team with her. Just she was just the sweetest girl. And I'm saying girl because she's super young. Is super young. But yeah, like she was just class personified, and I'm just super proud to see this maturation of her. And this is like her I arrive moment, man. And that was really impressive to see in her performance. Like she killed that shit. But like not but like to like all that credit to her. But it just had me thinking, who else like like will Glorilla, and I think that they have her in position um to take that next step into actual like rap superstardom. Like Lotto, another one, right? um like, if I'm being honest, like, this is gonna sound bad, but it's just like I'm almost over like all the twerking shit, bro. Like if we pay attention to, like, I know that everybody like to have fun, everybody like turn up, blah 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 blah, right? But there always was a balance, right? There was always a balance in hip hop. For every hip hop hooray, you had KRS-One, right? And that's not to say Naughty by Nature wasn't spitting, but I'm just saying, like, they were known more for they party records or whatever. But or shit, for every swag surfing, we had Swagger Like Us. For every girl shake that Laffy Taffy, we still had a Jay-Z, a Nas, a Ti, Andre 3000, like, just to balance the shit out. But like, where's the balance now? Like, it just seems like everything is twerking, trapping, sliding, like, I fuck with that shit sometime. But like, bro, like, who's gonna actually make, who's giving the youth something to think about? Who's giving them the other side of the game, right? Like, Jay-Z would tell you, hey man, listen, Hove did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that. Like, who's gonna give you the other side of the game? Like, everybody looks at this like as if, like, all this shit is all cool and fun. But when niggas get to going to jail and actually dying, bro, like, it's real life consequences behind these actions. And I don't think that the youth really understand that a lot of these rappers ain't doing the shit that they talk about. And then the rappers that are doing the shit that they talk about, they're paying the consequences behind it. And it's unfortunate, man. Like, we have to figure out, and I know I sound like the old nigga, but like, we have to find like the balance of this shit, right? Like Lil Baby, I watch his interviews and he's talking about investing in real estate and protecting the assets that you have and the people that's around you, making sure your team is straight. Like, we need that, but we need that shit in the music too, bro. Like, because the people, and this is not, like I said, this is not to bash Lil Baby or anything. He's just a person that I thought of. But it's just like, these people have to put this shit into the music. Like, if you don't, like, it's like mixing the medicine with the candy, right? Like, they want the candy, but you gotta give them a little bit of the medicine too. But the problem is, shit, if the artist ain't learned it, how the fuck they gonna teach somebody else? So I don't know, I'm looking for that next and shout out to Big X the Plug. His album is the first like new rap artist, and obviously he's not new, but new-ish rap artist that's made me feel something. You know what I'm saying? Like he on there talking, like having therapy sessions, really, like, like talking about how, how his brother betrayed him, and how everybody starts to look at him now that he's the one making the money, and all these other things, like, talk like, yeah, it's great to give the spoils of the game, but you got to talk about the other side of it too, man. And I think that that's super necessary, because a lot of these kids, man, it's just unfortunate that they don't have those rap superstars to kind of turn to, right? Like for me, I ain't gonna lie, like I used to say, and this was before, people was running around saying like, that's my dad. Like I literally would say like, yo, Jay-Z is my dad, 50 is my uncle, right? Like 50 for me was like the young wild nigga that, he knew from firsthand experience like how this thing can go, and he was willing to tell you that, but he was also willing to take it there too, right? You know what I'm saying? That don't that ain't great father characteristics. You know what I'm saying? That's the uncle. Like, when you got into some shit and you call that one uncle that's like, hey, I done been through that shit, nigga. Here, young nigga, this is how you handle that. That's how I looked at 50. But like Jay, for me, was like, yo, man, listen, I lived that and I don't want you to live that. Here's a better way, right? Like, let's get into these corporate offices, let's get into these brand partnerships, like let's do business, right? And that those type of people, you know they had a big impact on my life. Like I tell my daughter now, like she wants to be an R&B singer, and I'm telling her like, hey, listen, you know everything ain't about necessarily the talent, right? It's about the story that you create around yourself. It's about the story that you tell through your music and everything like that. And with that being said, like we have to find these new, young, talented people who can tell the other side of it. Like, in the 2000s, we had 50, who is, the most gangster nigga of all, right? Like you couldn't tell me that 50 wasn't willing to go shoot it out with any nigga at that time in 2003, 2002, right? But then right after that, you still had Common walking around. You still had Hove at the top of the game. You still had Eminem at the top of the game. Then you get a young nigga from Chicago like Kanye, right? That brings in a whole nother side, Slum Village and all of them niggas. Like, you had balance, bro. Like, it just seems like you don't really have that balance anymore. Like, everybody, one, sounds the same. Like, all these beats sound the same. Everybody using the same, cadence and everything like that. But then when you bring this back to the Grammys to look at it, like, Not Like Us won 5 fucking Grammys. This is the lyrical nigga with the banging ass beat, right? Like, and we'll get into the semantics of Not Like Us in a little bit, but my point is that all of the 4-2 Dougs, the Lil Babies, the Gunna Wannas, they're not the ones that's winning the Grammys, right? And you don't expect them to, right? But at the end of the day, I'm saying that there's still a place for lyrics. There's still a place for lyrics. If you don't know, I was a rapper. I still dabble, but that's not the focus anymore, right? And I was a lyricist, nigga. I'm trying to bar you up, even though I'm gonna have a jamming ass song, but it's gonna be some bars in it, right? And with that being said, like that's what I feel like that's missing. Like that substance is missing. Tell me about what you went through. Tell me how you got here. Like I don't want to just see the end of the story. Like show me the mountaintop. Show me the mountain, like you climbing the mountain. Show me that, not just you at the mountaintop. Like, that's where the story is. So, I'm just concerned, but congrats to Kendrick. who had a clean sweep, bring the brooms out, as Mustard would say. He won best video. All of these are for Not Like Us, by the way. So he won best video, best rap performance, best rap song, record of the year, and song of the year. Right? Like, this is actually fucking nuts. To be able to sweep this thing like that. And all of this shit is off of a diss record. If this ain't signaling something to Drake, I don't know what will. You got Lucian in the crowd high fiving Dr. Dre and shit. Like, it's nasty out there. But congrats to Kendrick, man. Like, aside from the song being a diss song, the shit just jammed. I feel like even if you take that shit, even if he changed the bars of the hooks, I mean of the verses, the shit still jam. Like, at the end of the day, it's still jam. So, congrats to Kendrick, but like, that nigga clean sweep the fucking Grammys, and I love to see it. So right off the heels of that, Kendrick is getting I'm talking like we don't know this, but that chain that nigga had on, bruh, like bruh, he flexing, bruh. Like, he looking like victory. Like, that nigga beard to perfection. That nigga hair, not a piece out of place. That nigga there was looking like money, boy. So I love to see that shit. Let's switch gears to the Queen, Miss Beyonce, who finally won album of the year. Most nominations in Grammy history with 99, and finally won album of the year. It's unfortunate that she had to make a whole country album in order to do it, and I hate that for her. Even though it's what she wanted to do, but still, like, god damn, like, what more do I have to do? Like, like, shit. You know, this just might be, even though, like I said, it might be the music that she wanted to make, but she still has to jump through all of these hoops. Hove had to go up there when he got the Dr. Dre award, and talk about, how call out the Grammys on, the way that they judge these things, and who they have judging this shit. Because, like, think about this. So in 2010, Taylor Swift won over Beyonce for Sasha Fierce. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. If I'm being honest, I don't have a problem with that. But Beck winning in 2015 over the Beyonce album was a problem. That was a problem. That's the one where I feel like she was robbed, right? And I'm gonna be honest, I ain't never heard Beck album, right? However, I know it ain't better than that. I'm sorry, I just know it ain't. I know it's not. I know it's not. Um, Call it my nigga wishing, but that it ain't better than that Beyonce album. Now, 2017, Adele wins over Lemonade. Okay, this was a big one. This was a big one. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not mad that Adele won that one. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Lemonade was great. I'm not mad that Adele won it over Lemonade, right? Okay. It could have went either way. Harry Styles over Renaissance. I actually kind of understood that too. Um Renaissance was, it was genre bending, and, something new and things like that. To even be nominated for something like that, was an honor within itself. I don't think that was so much of, a snub. Like, that Harry Styles shit was everywhere. But to be album of the year, I don't know. I don't know. But she finally gets it in 2025. So, big congrats to B and the Beehive for Cowboy Carter. Those tickets going on sale soon for Cowboy Carter in the Chitlin circuit. I'm based here in Dallas, so she's not coming to Dallas. So we know everybody and their mama is going down to Houston to try to get these tickets. So that's gonna be fun and exciting to see. So to switch gears out of the Grammys, let's talk about Drake a little bit. So Drake announces that him and P&D are dropping some sexy songs for y'all for V-Day, for Valentine's Day. And I want to know what y'all think about this. I don't personally give a fuck, if I'm being honest. This has nothing to do with the Drake and Kendrick beef. Nothing to do with that. It really just has everything to do with me not really liking Party Next Door like that. Not my cup of tea. There's a couple songs, won't you come and see me for once? I like that shit. What's it was one on if you're reading this too late, that he had that I liked, but I'm not that big of a party fan, so not really looking forward to it. I'm gonna listen to it, right? But I'm not really looking forward to it. But tell me what y'all think. So last topic of the day, let's get into the super. First off, this is crazy. The Luka trade had niggas forgetting that it was Super Bowl week. Nobody talked about the Super Bowl at all. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It wasn't until the later half of Tuesday that niggas started bringing up the Super Bowl again. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy within itself, okay? But let's get into the Super Bowl. Resident Eagles hater here, right? Resident Eagles hater. I want to speak on something real quick. Even though I fucking hate the Eagles, I can be objective about them, okay? They do have some really good energy around them right now. Between Gilly, let's talk about between Gilly, the plane crash, unfortunately, God bless everybody that was affected by that. They have a lot going around them, to rally around, right? But I want to talk about Gilly right now. So like I said, I'm a rap nigga, right? So I remember major figures. I remember Gilly the Kid going on MTV, saying that he wrote for Baby and Wayne. I remember all of this. Fucking with the boy. What New Orleans niggas say, the boy? I remember all of these things, right? And it's super great to see what Gilly and Wallow is built with $1 million worth of game and everything like that. And I actually, I fuck with Gilly. I troll him because I hate the fucking Eagles, right? But how must it feel for you to be a diehard fan of a team? You've built enough cachet with your performance out, like through your media endeavors and everything like that with Barstool and all these other things. Like, you've built enough cachet to be able to walk into the Eagles facility, to go into the locker room, to lead them out onto the field, to have, everybody in Philadelphia doing your dance and things like that, man. Like, that must be an amazing feeling. So shout out to Gilly for that, man, because that is amazing. Now, did he look like a Make-A-Wish kid while doing it? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. He looked like this was like his last dying wish. I'm fucking with you, Gilly. But no, like that shit looked amazing, man. So I do want to tip my hat off to Gilly for that. But back to these fuck niggas. Fuck the Eagles. The Chiefs are gonna win. Okay, if you can't tell by this little red behind me, by the color of these lights, goddamn it, the Chiefs gonna goddamn win. You understand me? The Chiefs are gonna make Jalen Hurts beat them. Okay, here's the keys to the game. They are not gonna let Saquon Barkley beat them. I feel like they are going to load up the box, which it don't really matter for Saquon. He can break free, but they're gonna load up that box, and they're gonna have to scheme that man open because they're not going to allow Saquon to beat them. You're gonna have to throw it to that nigga, or Jalen Hurts is gonna have to beat you. That's how they're going to make this team. If they win, that's how it's gonna be. But I feel like the Chiefs are gonna win. And I feel like that defense of the Eagles, because this is the thing. Eagles got the best roster top to bottom. Okay. They got the best roster top to bottom. I don't give a fuck. They win. They don't win at quarterback, but they win at running back. They win at O line. They win at D line. They win at defensive backs. They win across the board. Two places that they don't win though: quarterback and coach. Quarterback and coach, and that's where you lose, and that's where they will lose. Okay, mark my words. It's a 1.5. The Chiefs are 1.5 points favorites. So for all the women that watch, that means that they have to score. They are predicting that the Chiefs will win by a field goal. Okay, so if you see 1.5 points or 3.5 points, that means that they're gonna win by a field goal, or if it's 3.5 points, they're gonna win by a touchdown. Okay, so that's how that looks. So I actually have this being a high scoring game. I think it's going to be 38-30 Chiefs. However, I'm gonna tell you what I hope. I hope that it's a third. You know what? I'm gonna actually go. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go 38-30. I'm gonna go 38-30. But what I hope is that it's 21-28. No, it's yeah. Nah, it's 28-28. It's 28-28, right? I hope it's 28-28, and you know, 45 seconds left, and the Eagles are driving, and the Eagles throw a deep pass to AJ Brown, and they score, and they think they won the game. Flag on the motherfucking play, holding, bring that shit back, and then they got a punt, and then they go into overtime, and then the Chiefs beat their ass in overtime by a field goal. That's what I hope, because I want them to rip their fucking hearts out. I want them to feel like they just, we won it. We did it. Nah, not so fast, buddy. That's what I want. That's what I want. And because I want that, God don't like ugly. I'll just say that. So I'm gonna stop being ugly. But real quick, speaking of the Super Bowl, do y'all know that Pat Riley owns the rights to the term three-peat? Well, the NFL did, and I'm sure that he made them very aware of it. Hey, fam, hey, Raj, I own three-peat, so if you ever want to use it, have your people call my people. And them people got on the phone. Now, what I did want, though, me personally, I was like, man, they could come up with some, with some swaggier shit than three-peat. Like, shit, I like Chief Pete. I like Three Chief. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have came up with some fly, something clever, but they did come to terms on the deal for them to be able to use the term three-peat. if they win. Now if Nick, if I meet Patrick Mahomes, he is now, if he wins, he's now Pete Mahomes. Okay. Not Pat Mahomes no more. He Pete Mahomes, okay? You three Pete, nigga, that's Pete Mahomes. You know what I'm talking about? Petey Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? Big Petey in the motherfucking building. Um, but he's already, Patrick, speaking of Patrick Mahomes, he's already the best quarterback in NFL history, okay? I don't give a fuck about Brady and his 7 wins, 7 Super Bowl wins. I don't care about that. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL history. Okay. If we talking, and I'm just be transparent with you, just so you can have the data behind me. When everybody's talking about Brady, excuse me, Aaron Rodgers was a better quarterback than Tom Brady. Quarterback, not wins, not losses, not any of that. Literally the action of playing quarterback, throwing the football, okay? I believe that Aaron Rodgers was a better thrower of the football. Peyton Manning, I thought Peyton Manning was a better thrower of the football. So I would put Tom Brady 3 behind Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning, okay? But Patrick Mahomes has surpassed both of them. Okay? Sorry. Somebody had to say it. There you go. Patrick Mahomes, best thrower of the football. And at this point, this new crop of quarterbacks is gonna be very unfortunate that you got a Lamar Jackson who I think should win his third MVP. And you got Josh Allen and you got Joe Burrow and you got uh, I think we'll leave Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I think those are the top, because I think Justin Herbert is on that next tier. I think Jalen Hurts is on that next tier under them. I think Dak is on that next tier under them. So it's unfortunate that you got these great players who probably will go on to have Hall of Fame careers that may not get a Super Bowl win, as long as that young man in Kansas City is still in Kansas City. Um, and yeah, I think we'll stop there for today. We appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Brandon Rowe RO Show. I got some very exciting things coming up. So just be on the lookout for those. Make sure that y'all check out Urban Trivia. We back on tour, starting March 22nd in Houston. So we got March 22nd in Houston, March 23rd in Dallas, March 29th in Atlanta, and then no dates in April, but then we jump back in Tennessee, in Memphis on the 16th, and Nashville on the 17th. So we are getting everything together. We got some big cities that we will be announcing soon that I'm very excited about. Shout out to DC, sold out crowd out there. And also make sure y'all check out my new game. It's called Show What You Know. It is a celebration of 90s TV, and it's all about 90s sitcoms and cartoons and commercials and everything like that. Okay, so showwhatyouknow.com. Make sure y'all follow at Show What You Know on Instagram, and on TikTok is at Show What You Know Game. We'll see y'all next week.